The story of Sugar Blues starts with Clarence Williams, a prolific songwriter, producer, and musician from Plaquemine, Louisiana. Born in 1893, Williams was right there at the birth of recorded jazz. In fact, he claims to have been the first person to use the word jazz on a published piece of sheet music. Williams was one of the most successful jazz musicians of the 20th century. His compositions and arrangements were innovative, creative, and commercially successful. Early in his career, Williams lived and worked in New Orleans, often considered to be the birthplace of jazz music. Around 1913, when Williams was 20 years old, he began working with Armand J. Piron, a jazz violinist and one of the most respected musicians in New Orleans. Together they started one of the first black-owned music publishing businesses, which they named the Piron-Williams Publishing Company. Some of their early hits included I Wish I Could Shimmy Like My Sister Kate and Brown Skin Who You For. One side note I'd like to mention here is that Williams and Piron are listed as the songwriters or publishers on hundreds of songs, but the actual origin of each song is often unclear. It was common at the time for a person to write a song and then sell it to someone else. For example, Louis Armstrong claims to have written Sister Kate when he was a kid.
I read somewhere that you had written, I wish I could shimmy like my sister Kate. Is that a true story?
Yeah, well, I was young then. I didn't know about no copyright and all that stuff. You know what I mean? The cat come up and say, well, I'll give you $50 for that song. And it's the first time I heard the name $50 way back there. 1917, you know?
And sold it to A.J. Piron around 1917. Piron is listed as the writer and lyricist of the song to this day. By 1919, Williams had moved to Chicago, another hotbed for jazz music, and continued his business there. One day a woman knocked on the door at Williams' Chicago office. Here's a quote from Clarence Williams himself. A woman, Lucy Fletcher, a needy mother of 5 children, came into my office one day with a song and asked me to set it to music for her. I rearranged some of the words and set it to music and put it on the market. That song was the Sugar Blues. Mrs. Fletcher made over $10,000 on that song and is still getting returns. I searched around online and couldn't really find any information about Lucy Fletcher. We know she had 5 kids, so there's a good chance she has some descendants out there today. So if you're related to Lucy Fletcher or have any information about her, then please get in touch. I'd love to see a picture of her and learn about her life. Was she a musician? Why did she write the song? And did she write other songs or just this one? In any case, collaborating with Clarence Williams on Sugar Blues must have changed Lucy Fletcher's life in a significant way, at least in a financial sense, as $10,000 in the 1920s equates to at least $150,000 today. In August 1922, Leona Williams and her Dixie Band became the first band to record the song. The second version was recorded by Sarah Martin, a singer from Louisville, Kentucky, who was in her early 40s at the time. On October 17, 1922, Williams and Martin met up at a studio in New York. Williams had asked an 18-year-old piano hotshot named Fats Waller to back up Martin on the recording session, but he never showed up. So Williams played the piano himself. The record was very successful, influencing many subsequent versions of the song. In January of 1931, a trumpet player named Clyde McCoy recorded a very influential version of the song. Using a mute on his trumpet, McCoy created a distinctive wah-wah sound that was the direct inspiration for the very first wah-wah guitar pedal. Released by Vox in 1967. Vox's pedal was called the Clyde McCoy Wah-Wah pedal. Some of the other people who recorded Sugar Blues are Fats Waller, Johnny Mercer, Count Basie, the Dallas String Band, Bob Wills and his Texas Playboys, Adolph Hoffner, Ella Fitzgerald, and it was even featured in the 1959 Marilyn Monroe film, Some Like It Hot. I'll leave you now with some links to some more contemporary performances. The first link is from the 1970s. Eva Taylor, Clarence Williams' wife, and one of his main musical collaborators, sing Sugar Blues with the traditional jazz band in Germany. This 1970s performance might be the only video documentation of Eva Taylor that exists. Sugar Blues is still played by many modern bands. Here's the Shake 'Em Up Jazz Band playing the song in 2016. 2023 performance by our band here, Rollfast Ramblers. Well, thanks so much for watching this video. Remember to like and subscribe so that we can bring you more stories about American music history.